I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
I'm Jesper de Jong.
I'm Henry Laxon.
I am Francisco Cerundolo, and you are listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Good afternoon and welcome to the beginning, as you can call it, of the semi-finals for both Basel and Vienna today. We've got probably the tie of the round, as you would probably call it, to do with the semi-finals in Basel as our first match here. So we've got the guy who is on an 11-match winning streak, tearing it up on the indoor hardcourt scene in Felix AUGER-ALIASSIME. Of course, like I said, coming off the back of two titles, one in Firenze in Italy, and the second in the European Open in Antwerp. Something I was privileged to be able to be at live to watch him win that title. And the guy who's on this red hot streak, can he be stopped by the current world number one and the teenage sensation, which is Carlos Alcaraz? Who's come off some pretty tough and impressive victories on this run to the semi-finals here in Basel. A little bit of a better tournament than he had in Astana just a few weeks ago. Some of the names, of course, of players he's beaten are, of course, his great friend Pablo Carreño Busta, also beating the likes of Botic van der Zandschulp quite comfortably, actually, beating Botic before taking on the British teenage sensation or British young sensation, because he's technically 20, in Jack Draper, narrowly coming through that at the beginning of the week. Meanwhile, Felix, as we know, on his route to the final, had one of the games of his life, or the games of his career, as he's called it, beating Miomir Kecmanovic in, there's no words to be able to describe how dominant Felix was in that match. He did it in under 50 minutes, so it would have felt like a small warm-up to him. So for a man that's played a lot of tennis, a lot of tennis over the past 2.5 weeks, will feel fairly fresh. And as we can see already, both players are trying to show how much energy they've got in them with the jumping in the air that they've been doing as they're deciding at the coin toss. Yeah, trying to match up. Yeah, I'm more energetic than you. So as I said, the players at the moment are just going through the formalities. Going for their photo taken. So please, if you can make sure with this match as they start to do the warm-ups, if we could get your predictions over what you believe will happen in this match. Yeah, make sure that you play those predictions down. And I can see that Mr. Aquino, we got a sup. Hi, how you doing? Oh, from quite early on in the day. And Yilvez, hello everyone. Hello Yilvez as well. Remember, if you can make sure you put your predictions down in the live chat, and also that you smash the like button on this video, given how how good this match is shaping up to being. It should be an absolute cracker. We hope it's going to be an absolute cracker between both players. There's certainly that we want to make sure we can get to at least 100. I know I keep saying it in the last two, but I really want to make sure at this one that we get to 100 likes for this match here. So what else could we possibly say about these players? You got good, thank you, yours. We got a prediction of ALCARAZ in 3. That certainly could be a possibility. I am going to go the opposite. I'm going to say it's going to be Felix AUGER-ALIASSIME in 3. Now, I don't just say that because in my TNNS prediction, I've got ALCARAZ winning the tournament, but I just feel, given the way that ALCARAZ has been playing given the way that Felix AUGER-ALIASSIME has been playing on the indoor hard courts, and especially this week, still showing that high level that he is at the moment, that he'll do that. So you're going to say that 6-4, 4-6, 7-6. So you think there's going to be a break each, and then to be a nail biter tied to at the end. Certainly that 7-6 at the end could fall either way. I do suspect we're going to see some breaks. We will probably see a few breaks from both players in this match. Both are ALCARAZ, as we know, his returning ability is top notch. And is able to get out of a lot of tricky situations because of his own serve, due to the amount of times he can break his opponent, especially those with a big serve like Felix. He's one of the biggest serves on tour. And of course, Felix has improved his return game, and ALCARAZ, his service motion is still probably the one weakness we could possibly state of his game that he needs to improve is just to make sure his serve is a little bit stronger, that he doesn't have to go to so many extremes on his own service games, because it's great for the theatrics, but if you're a tennis player, you want to shore yourself up as much as possible, so that you are not don't have that many problems when you're on your own serve. You want it to be as seamless as possible. Of course, after this match, there is the Rune versus Roberto Bautista Agut match to look forward to. And of course, the winner of this match will play the winner of Rune versus Roberto Bautista Agut. And over just across the border in Vienna, semi-final day is there as well. And currently, you've got Daniel Medvedev playing Grigor Dimitrov. And just to give you a quick score update, I know some of you may be following that on your phones anyway at this stage. Medvedev is currently 4-2 up in the first set. And Dimitrov is serving at the moment 30-15. And then the second match on that day is the Tsitsipas conqueror Bora Choric, a man that he's got sorted in his pocket effectively. He's playing the guy who beat Dan Evans last night, Denis Shapovalov. So some pretty good matches. We expect that at this end of the season. And as I pointed out on Twitter, I think yesterday, we really do need to make sure that we cherish as much as possible these matches coming up, because we've got this week in terms of the semi-final and the finals, and then we've only got Paris Masters next week with the WTA finals taking place in Fort Worth, and then we've got the two end-of-year finals for the men with the Next Gen, and then the main tour finals to contend with before the Davis Cup, and with the Billie Jean King Cup spread throughout that. So we've only got a limited amount of tournaments left before we go for the break, and as we know, the break can feel longer than the actual month and a bit that it'll end up being. even though I imagine a lot of you will probably end up watching the football whilst that break is taking place, or somehow getting to watch one of these lucrative Middle Eastern tournaments that the likes of Djokovic and whatnot are somehow signing themselves up for. That's enough from me in terms of the main bit of the build-up. Just also to say that on the ATP website, at least on the main tour, or the perceived main tour, they have met 2 times before, with Felix Auger-Aliassime winning both those matches. However, the first time they met was at the US Open last year, where this was in the quarterfinals, where Alcaraz had just come off those brilliant wins, beating Stefanos Tsitsipas, really coming to the light, and was basically completely spent. And as such, it was a 6-3, 3-1 retirement for Felix in that one there. And then the most recent clash was the Davis Cup clash between Spain and Canada, where FAA won it 6-7, 6-4, 6-2. So we don't know how much we can read into that. I mean, possibly something from the Davis Cup match, but we can also point to the fact that Alcaraz had played such a high level literally the week before with the US Open that there maybe not be too much we could possibly say. But they're about to get going. I'm about to get the scoreboard up, and we shall begin. Remember, put your predictions in the comments below. So with the first point now, Felix has just hit the net on the serve, tried to go down the tee as he's getting himself ripped round, balled up. Remember, comment in the chat as well. Any questions about the match or to do with general tennis questions? More than happy to answer, especially if we've got some topic points to talk about today. As Alcaraz ends up catching the second serve return, but spraying it beyond the baseline. Again, like I said, this should really build up. This should really be an absolute cracker here in Basel. So Felix is going through his normal service motion. As he goes down to serve, goes out wide. Unfortunately, he goes beyond the service box, so we will have a second serve here as he goes through the normal procedures. Basel logo looking fantastic from the bottom as usual. Out wide again. Alcaraz able to get something on it. But again, like the previous point, Alcaraz is only able to spray it beyond the baseline. So Felix is 30 love up. Thank you, Steve, for your comment. You're amazing. Thank you for your commenting. I'm hoping you'll all enjoy it as we go through this today. Probably going to have a long one. I know, like I said, if you make sure we can hit the like button, make sure if you know somebody that usually watches, if they get them to watch, that'd be fantastic. As I said, big match. We really want to get as many people as possible watching it and getting involved. Okay, so again, we're down to another second serve here for Felix. So although he's 30 love up, he's not making any headway and he's getting his first serves in, but ends up hitting the line or just going slightly wide of the line. So we end up getting another second serve. I think it must have been a let on the previous point. Too busy reading your comments to get that right there. My fault. So Felix out wide, Alcaraz able to get something on it. This time we've got it into the island, and FAA smashes it into the net on the return. That's an interesting development. It was quite high in the air, and FAA ended up going and hitting it down quite poorly. There seems to be something outside my window. I don't know what's happening there. We're going again. So this is a good start to the first match here. So Alcaraz, FAA, you go through, like I said, it's usual service motions, hits out wide, ball returns in. Then we've got a bit of a forehand. Oh, interesting. So Alcaraz was able to get it back with his backhand, really quite well into the Felix feet, as they call it, sort of caging in the tennis game. And Felix was unable to get the ball properly out of his feet and ends up spraying it long. So we are now sitting at 30-30. So what looked like potentially a pretty comfortable hold for Felix has turned out slightly more complicated by Alcaraz playing some good points here. So Felix smashes the net, unfortunately, again with his first serve. Again, he's not getting his first serve in much. This is a slightly worrying start if you're a Felix fan. That usually you want his first serve firing. So we go for the second serve, body serve, and it catches Alcaraz out. Alcaraz is only able to hit it into the middle of the tram lines, and as such, Felix has game point on his own serve. Felix's game point on his own serve. Just having a look to see what the buttons? Do we have buttons for both players? It seems like we know about Draper. Don't, which is a shame. Felix down the line gets the first serve finally into play, and as such, with that first serve finally into play, he takes the first game in 3 minutes. Takes the first game in 3 minutes. It's good to see. There's a lot of crowd. There's a lot of people in the crowd. I'm sure that a lot of them were slightly hoping and praying that they may be able to see Stan Wawrinka, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to get past the human backboard. That is Roberto Batista Agut, a guy who's taken out Andy Murray as well this week, which is unfortunate because of some of the fantastic matches that Stan Wawrinka has been involved with in the tournament this week. The most notable being that 6-4, 6-4 victory over Casper Ruud. Holger Rune, Casper Rune. I need to get this the right way around. Is the main thing there. So Alcaraz is now going to begin his service motion. Just goes through, hits it down the tee. Felix is able to get onto it, but unfortunately couldn't get any direction on it and sprays it beyond the tram lines. So Alcaraz is currently, as I say, sitting at 15 love. Crowd got a shot of a couple of happy people in the crowd, which is always pleasing to see. Also, another reminder whilst going through the motions here, we've got Paris qualifying taking place at the moment. Alcaraz hits it down, and unfortunately, it just goes beyond the service line. So we are at a second serve. I've got my American Airlines blanket, which I picked up years ago, just because it's the temperature seems to be all over the shop in the house. Great return there by Felix, up to the net, and hits it down the line, forehand past Alcaraz. That was a really good return by Felix. It was an out wide serve by Alcaraz. And then Felix was able to basically run to the net and control the point from there, which is always key. You need to make sure when you're playing Alcaraz that you are on the front foot, because if he gets on the front foot, you're going to be running around like a headless chicken for a while. Down the line by Alcaraz, cages it by Felix. Felix is now controlling the point. Okay, we've got some forehand to forehand exchange. Cross court by Alcaraz. Down the line by Felix. Cross court again by Alcaraz, and Felix is unable to keep it on the island with the return. He was just pushed way out wide. And unable to keep the point going. So Alcaraz is currently 30-15 up as it stands. Again, like I said, if everyone on the chat, if you can make sure that you put your predictions down below. I know we're to start the match, but it'd be great to hear what you think will happen here. Like I said at the top of the show, I very much feel as though this will be AUGER-ALIASSIME in 3, but I know Jules has said he thinks it'll be Alcaraz in 3, so it could be a very tight match in prospect. Forehand to forehand exchange, pushed back too far by AUGER-ALIASSIME, pushed Alcaraz back too far, and the ball he was able to return, it just sprayed wide. So already both players are trying to actually have that. Both players are trying to make sure that they push their opponent as far back behind the baseline as possible, really wanting to show that control in this match. They do not want to relinquish control to each other. It's Alcaraz down the middle, body serve. Felix reads it, and we've got a bit of a backhand to backhand exchange taking place here. Alcaraz with the forehand down the line. Felix is able just to get it, but Alcaraz cross court, running Felix around, taking control of that point, stepping into the baseline, and being able to conduct where Felix is going to go. It's going to be interesting in this match to see how that plays out. Who is going to be the more dominant at being able to basically be the conductor on the points and really push their opponent one way or that? Because both players are good defensively, but it is not the main part, not characteristic of their game. So Alcaraz looking to make it 1-1, goes out wide, perfect serve, and then back out, and then forehand down the line, forehand across court again. Felix able to get something to it, and a volley drop shot by Alcaraz at the net it allows him to take the point and to make it 1-1. Gary just said, James, hey everyone, I'll be watching a bit passively, but hopefully checking in a few times. I have a hunch about Felix in this match. I'm picking him in 3, just a hunch. Gary, you are with me on agreement for this match. I do believe it will be Felix in 3. Interesting, because I've the last team as will know, as sort of regular viewers this week will know, this is the third time I've been on, and I've only ever had two straight sets matches. That was Tsitsipas versus Denis Novak, and then Medvedev versus Team. So Felix is just going for his service motion, was unable to keep the ball in the service area as he was going out wide, and as such we're at second serve. Randomly checking around. Very slow with the slowest motion, Felix. Up the line by Felix. Backhand down the line by Alcaraz. Forehand across court by Alcaraz again. Alcaraz across court. Backhand to backhand exchange. And then Alcaraz tries to go down the line with a backhand down the line winner, and unfortunately sprays it wide. I mean, although I think Felix will win this match, the quality that we're seeing already from Alcaraz, it's just enough to put a smile on your face. He's just an utterly brilliant player. So usual service motions going through here. I mean, there's nothing much that we could say is a major talking point. Again, like I said, all about that control. So Felix ends up smashing into the net on his first serve. So we've got a second serve at play at the moment. All looking good. Okay, Felix up in the air, cross court, backhand by Alcaraz, big and looping, forehand down the line by Alcaraz, baseline to baseline exchange here, cross court by Alcaraz, cross court by Felix, up the line by Felix, and he sprays it beyond the tram line. So it is 15-15. So pretty much almost a mirror of what happened in the previous point, where they went to that backhand to backhand exchange. One player tries to basically offload it, but is unable to have that control down the line and sprays it beyond the island, as they say. Is this something we're going to see throughout the entirety of this match? Them both going to each other's backhands. We know they've got killer forehands. Felix cross court. Alcaraz is able to get to it. Oh, unfortunately, he tries to do the chip, and it doesn't. And it just doesn't have the reach to be able to go to the other side of the net. So Felix is up to 30-15. Like I said, two of the key elements of both these players' games are their forehands. They are lethal when they are firing, and it makes complete sense from a tactical point of view for both players to be looking to implement a backhand to backhand exchange to really try and target that and target the weaknesses in both their games on their backhands. Felix up in the air, down the line, on the tee, first serve in, gets the first ace of the match. I believe that is the first ace of the match, which is surprising to say in the third service game with both these two players. Alcaraz unable to reach that as it hits the Chiquita logo. Must admit, I find it bizarre that we've got a sort of a Mediterranean sounding logo in Switzerland, but you find some bizarre logos everywhere. Little bizarre people sponsoring what tournaments. Up in the air by Felix, down the tee. Alcaraz is unable to keep it on the island with the return. Goes slightly long, and an attempt to cage Felix. And as such, Felix takes the third game of the match, and so it's 2-1 at the moment. 2-1 at the moment. Remember, make sure that you hit the like button on this match. We want to get to around about 100 likes if possible, or where possible, given the how great this match will be, or hope to be. Both players at the start there. Some big talking points, I think, in tennis over the past couple of days. We've, of course, had the draw out for the Paris Masters. If you haven't done so already, make sure you watch Ben and JG's coverage of the of the sort of like predictions, or at least the reaction to those the draws coming out. And I'm going to wait until after the qualifying tomorrow before making my TNNS draw predictions. Do make sure that you haven't done so already. Oh, thank you for the 99. Thank you for the super sticker there, Stephen. Very much appreciated. So if you've got a if you haven't done so already, make sure that you keep an eye and fill in your TNNS predictions of what you believe or who you believe will go far, who will do well in that tournament. Luckily, me using cheap European travel again, I will be going to the quarterfinals of the Paris Masters this week. I'll be flying out on Friday morning and going to view the 4 matches there. I am so looking forward to it, especially as we could have the possibility of having a Medvedev versus FAA match. I could, for the first time ever, I could hopefully see Alcaraz play. That will be a dream if he does get to the quarters. And you never know, there could be some big upsets that could take place down the line. I know that. Jack Draper's draw is certainly something that you could do some damage in. Okay, so we're now back into the game. FAA is managed to take control on the first service point of Alcaraz. We've got a bit of a forehand to forehand exchange, backhand from Alcaraz, and then for the first time in the match, and you can see the annoyance, on Felix's face. A forehand gets fired straight into the net. This is something we're not used to seeing happen to Felix. Maybe his backhand into the net. It's certainly not his forehand. Stephen, I think Alcaraz will win this tournament? I have to agree. I think whoever wins this match will be the favourite in that final. I know that Rune's been playing some fantastic tennis, but I certainly think he's going to be in line for it. Okay, so we've got a bit of a backhand-to-backhand exchange taking place here. Oh, what a backhand there! So So I know it probably makes much sense, but what happened there was that it was a bit of a backhand-to-backhand exchange. Alcaraz hit cross court, came forward. Felix caught him in no man's land with a backhand passing shot, beautifully touches him at the edge of the court to make it 15-15. So from a poor unforced error in the last point to a brilliant win on the second. What we like to see. Well, we like to see winners, good winners. So on the first serve there by Alcaraz, he ends up hitting the net. So I've got a bit of an opening here for Felix to maybe get a half chance here in this match. So ball back up in the air, and he ends up falling over him. I think somebody in the crowd, I've not got headphones in, but somebody in the crowd kind of spooked Alcaraz there as he went to go to his service motion. So he's got back into the swing of things, up in the air. Down the tee, so we've got a bit of a backhand-to-backhand exchange already taking place. Forehand by Felix, forehand by Alcaraz, forehand down the line by Felix. Alcaraz is able to get to it, but it's going to be a smash by Felix. Smashes it, Alcaraz gets it, but is unable to get it over the net. Just about collects to it, but Felix is able to put enough power onto it for Alcaraz to basically only hit it to the bottom of the net. So at the moment, AUGER-ALIASSIME has a what we call a half chance here at the moment. It's 30-15 up, looking to possibly prize out a break point opportunity. So Alcaraz going through the normal service motions as we speak. Ends up hitting it beyond. He tries to go out wide, but hits it beyond the service box. So we've got a second serve here, so a real chance for Auger at the beginning of this first set. Oh, a double fault by Alcaraz means Felix Auger-Aliassime has 2 break points already, and this is the second service game by Alcaraz. Hi, Peaches. Hello to the stream. Like I said, if everyone can make sure they can hit the like button on this, that would be absolutely brilliant. Aiming for 100 likes, and comment below any questions or thoughts or feelings about this match or tennis in general, maybe a little bit about the WTA finals that are coming up soon. So Alcaraz goes for the serve here. Gets it in and down the tee. And Felix is unable to keep it on the island. It just sails over Alcaraz. So that those 2 break points have gone down to 1. So Auger-Aliassime still has one more break point. One more break point. Will he get the break here? I don't know. This is quite interesting. I mean, Alcaraz can be quite clutch in these situations and can get himself out of problems. We'll see. Alcaraz, okay, so his ball clipped the net and sailed long because of that. So we've got a second serve here. Second serve, what's Alcaraz going to do? Alcaraz up in the air. Felix gets a bit onto it. Backhand to backhand exchange taking place at the moment. Backhand down the line by Felix. Backhanding. Oh no, Felix goes for the backhand across court and it goes wide and wild. It is now back to juice. It is back to juice here. Oh, he had a chance there, and he was reckless on that point. No control. I mean, it was close. It was more of a double shot than it was a single shot in terms of which line it was closer to. Felix knows it. That was way too reckless. You cannot be making those sorts of mistakes when you're playing Alcaraz. You just cannot. Alcaraz with a brilliant ball down the tee. Auger isn't able to keep it on the island, and now Alcaraz has game point on his own serve to try and bring it back to 2-2. Already, maybe a pivotal point in this set. You can already see that Felix is muttering to the box. Peachy says, I like both players that can't pick. I think a lot of people may be agreeing with you on that one. Okay, so Alcaraz goes for he seems to be picking the down the line shot, the tee shot, quite a lot on his service motions. It just didn't work out this time around. Goes for the serve again, and again he hits it at the wrong side of the tee. So from having that game point on his own serve, we are now back to deuce. That's the second double fault that Alcaraz has delivered in this service game. Yeah, just this stat coming up at the bottom here. That's the second double fault. You do not want to be giving away too many double faults in this match. As you can see a lady playing on a phone. So we got a bit of a forehand to forehand exchange. Felix hits. Oh, he's annoyed. He's gone for a forehand down the line shot on his backhand side, and yeah, Felix he went for a forehand down the line shot on his backhand side and just sails long. Leander King says, "Why is the title-based Basel Open not? Was that why is it the title Basel Open and not indoors?" If you could rewrite that, Leon, that'd be brilliant. I don't understand what the question is at this stage. That's all right. So we go for service motion there. Again, a strong one by Alcaraz, and Felix is unable to keep it on the island. As such, Alcaraz is able to take the game, and it is currently sitting at 2-2. So we're sitting at 2-2 here at the Basel Indoor Open, or the Swiss Indoor Open. One of three tournaments that take place in Switzerland throughout the year. The other two being outdoor clay events in Geneva the week just before the French Open, and then Gstaad, which takes place a couple of weeks after Wimbledon. Both titles picked up by Casper Ruud this year in his famous 250 run. So Felix goes for one out wide. Alcaraz just able to get it back, runs it across to the net, and Felix has come to the net as Alcaraz goes for a body shot and is unable to control it properly, and it sails into the net. Here. Just limited the amount of control that he needed to place on that, unfortunately. So Alcaraz is already 15 up. So the usual slow service motion by Felix down the line. Nice, I think his second ace of the match as he sails down the line there. Good shot by Felix. Yeah, perfectly near enough on the tee. I mean, you couldn't have got any better, as it then ends up whacking the Chiquila sign. So Felix, of course, going for the normal service motions. Again, down the tee, and again, another ace. Second time down the tee, second time picking up a 3-point. You cannot underestimate the value. Well, I'm just seeing that literally is millimeters in. Brilliant shot there by Felix. But you cannot underestimate the benefits of having a big serve and the 3 points that you can get off that. Just keeps you more in a tournament, more in a match and more in a tournament. Felix, body shot there. Alcaraz able to return it. And this time a shot down the line, or a shot with a forehand a little bit to the outside of his body. Usually, the last 2 points we've seen of him attempting a forehand down the line winner have ended up with it being out. This time he ends up kissing the line as he takes the point to make it 40-15. So this could possibly look like quite a comfortable service game if we can get next point. And Famos Felix by Mikel. First person showing no real support for a player at the moment. So Felix down the line, ALCARAZ is able to get some return on it, but unfortunately it just about buries into the net. So it is currently 3-2 to Felix AUGER-ALIASSIME in the opening set here. As Felix, of course, in the previous game, service game with ALCARAZ, had 2 break points, but was unable to convert. Gary, so you're saying, as a Knoll fan, Felix is the player I fear most. When his game is on, he can trouble any player, anytime. I see him as a future Wimbledon champion. That's an interesting point, Gary, about him saying that he's going to be a future Wimbledon champion, because he has played incredibly well on the grass at points. I don't know if he hasn't. I don't think he's actually been to any grass court finals as of yet. You could probably correct me, someone in the chat, if I've got that wrong. But you know, the interesting result was his loss to Maxime Cressy at Wimbledon this year in the first round. But with a game with a serve like his and a forehand like his, you know, the grass should be a surface that he would be he could do well on. We of course seen with ALCARAZ how, although it's not his best surface, he was able to at least get to the 4th round and have an absolute cracker with Sinner at the previous Wimbledon. And I believe that ALCARAZ will probably end up winning at Wimbledon at some point in his career. He just needs to make sure that he gets some time on the grass. It was a shame that his wrist injury or his arm injury prevented him from being able to play at Queen's Club last time around. It would have been brilliant to have seen him play at Queen's. I think the fans there would have absolutely loved to have seen him, sprinting around the court as he does. So we're about to start, the note showing the players box, just to give a score update around the ground. I have to get my app up to work to make sure I don't end up losing my voice. It's always key. Score update around the ground for Vienna. Medvedev has taken the first set against Grigor Dimitrov 6-4, and it's 1-1 in the second set at the moment. I think we fully expect Medvedev to get to the final there. So ALCARAZ goes for the serve out wide, gets it in this time. We've got a bit of a forehand to forehand exchange, backhand by Felix, backhand by ALCARAZ. We're on to the backhands now. ALCARAZ down the line, backhand good, backhand across court, and Felix is unable to get it over the net. Again, another sign of ALCARAZ making sure that he is dominating the point. He is stepping in. You look where his feet are, where he takes that, where he takes the ball. That he's really pushing AUGER-ALIASSIME beyond or around about the Basel line. And as I sort of said at the beginning of the match, without, if one player is playing too defensively for long periods, they will end up being the ones that will have the trouble. ALCARAZ cross swing, a little bit wide lighter on that serve actually, and Felix is able to actually get some control over this point. And now ALCARAZ was pushed back, but Felix unfortunately hit it long for his fans. Felix hit it long, and as such, ALCARAZ is currently sitting at 30 love. So a stronger start to this service game than the last one for ALCARAZ. Which is a bit. I think he'll feel a little bit better about that. It's not as tight as it was. ALCARAZ down the line, unfortunately, wasn't able to get the ball in. So we're now going to a second serve. Here. So body serve by ALCARAZ, deep return by Felix. Some more deep returns by Felix as they now go to a cross court exchange, backhand to backhand. A drop shot by ALCARAZ, and it doesn't go over. The signature drop shot of Carlos ALCARAZ does not play into provision in this point, as it ends up nestling itself into the top part of the net. It just about hits the tape before it falls down on the wrong side. Steve, you're saying Felix hasn't won any titles before 2020. He's improved a lot this year, but ALCARAZ is on another level. I would tend to agree. I think the higher level of ALCARAZ is probably a degree or two more than Felix's. AUGER-ALIASSIME had a blistering youth career. We'll talk about it in a little bit. As ALCARAZ goes down the line, and Felix is unable to keep it on the island as he attempts to cage it to ALCARAZ's feet. Yeah, I mean, AUGER-ALIASSIME had a blistering young career. He was winning ITF Junior, ITF Futures titles, and and challenger titles at the ages of 15, 16, 17. But ever since he sort of came to that top 10, it sort of plateaued since then. Alcaraz down the line again with his forehand, backhand by Felix, backhand by Alcaraz, cross-court exchange, and Felix, in an attempt to finish the point quickly, fires it well beyond the baseline, and as such, Alcaraz is able to take that quite comfortably. So we're sitting at 3 games all at the moment, so we're halfway through the first set. As of yet, no service breaks, but a couple of break points for Felix. Will he live to regret to not be taking those points? There's an interesting point I will bring up about Auger and his titles won when they sit down next time around. As I know, keep eyes on this match at the moment. So Felix going again, serve down the tee. Alcaraz is able to at least get something on it, and is unable to keep it on the island. As such, AUGER-ALIASSIME takes the first point of the serve. 15 love. Yeah, just probably would say 5 centimeters out. Yay big, yay wide. So Felix going for the service motions at the moment. Ends up going up the tee, just about stays in, runs to the net, has control there, and he forces Alcaraz into a low percentage winner. And of course, that being so lower percentage, he is unable to get it above the net. So both players, something that I can note at the moment, both players are doing very well, at least trying to be the conductor on their own point. They're the ones that are pushing their opponent the way they want them to go, running to the net, really being the one that's on the attack. Key element if you want to, for whichever player wishes to win this match. Felix goes out wide. Unfortunately, no success on that point there. It's been quite noticeable, actually. Both players have not been struggling when it comes to their out wide serves. Both of them have been going down the tee a fair bit at the moment on their service games. Felix goes down the tee on his second serve. Alcaraz is able to get a good backhand return on it. Alcaraz backhand to backhand. Oh, and Alcaraz on his backhand just hits it long. So AUGER-ALIASSIME is sitting at 40 love. We could get our first game to love. Very possible that we could get our first game to love. As Felix is sweating an incredible amount. It usually does. So the normal service rotations, can we get the first game to love? Auger down the line. Unfortunately, it was slightly wide of the tee, so we go to a second. Serve. Remember, make sure you smash the like button on this match. We've got a very good tight start to this game here. So AUGER-ALIASSIME goes out wide. Alcaraz is able to get the return on it. Quite long return. Sliced by Felix. Alcaraz has now got control over the point. Pushes Felix behind the baseline, and on the return, Felix is unable to get it over the net. It's remarkable, actually. It was a really good illustration of how you can turn a defense into attack in that point there. In a couple of points, Alcaraz was able to push Felix to a position where Alcaraz could step in and become the aggressor in that match. So, although we're not going to get our first game to love, which is a shame, we are though getting close to probably conclusion of this service game. Out wide by Felix, an actual successful one. Tries to push Alcaraz around, goes for the back behind as Alcaraz runs back onto the baseline, and he does catch Alcaraz out a bit as he can only able to hit it into the net. So we're now sitting at 4-3. We're now sitting at 4-3 here at the Swiss Indoors Open in Basel. So like I was saying, so it's interesting when it comes to Felix's recent wins. So some of you may watch or follow a tennis journalist called Gil Gross. He's an American guy who kind of actually made an interesting point, which is, it's great having the ability to win these indoor events. They're a lot of fun to watch, especially to attend, because they're not weather dependent, so that they will play regardless. And it's a very sterile atmosphere. In terms of, you're not going to have wind, you're not going to have anything that means that the purest, the big hitters are not going to get disturbed, which usually in the outdoor events, they usually are in some way, shape or form, which then brings in other types of players to be able to then do well at these tournaments. Given the fact that there are no Grand Slam event tournaments that are purposely on indoor hard, and also down to the fact that there's only one Masters tournament that gets played next week to do with indoor hard, in the grand scheme of things, are these tournaments wins worth anything in terms of for AUGER-ALIASSIME? Does it prove anything? Does it show any sort of progression? Because we know his game suits well for these surfaces. He's got to a fair few indoor hard finals. But as we saw with the fact that his 3 titles that he's picked up, Rotterdam at the beginning of the year, and Firenze and Antwerp this time around, we've not seen him in any finals to do with either on the outdoor hard, clay, or grass in the last year. And what sort of what benefits can we take from the fact that he has won these 2 titles? Will we start to see him then actually take that next level at a Masters event on the outdoor hard? We'll have to wait and see. So we start the game here with ALCARAZ hitting a double fault, both balls into the net. Please if you've got anything you want to say about what I've just said there, do put it into the comments. It'd be good to breathe a discussion. Do you think we could read anything too much into Felix's 2 ATP titles? Be a great sort of discussion point to have as a running point in this match. So ALCARAZ, another point that flies out wide, as Gene says, and thank you for the super chat. Gene says, how are my lovely GTL friends doing today? Pumped for Felix today. He's going to be a real threat for AO and Wimbledon next year. Interesting point. Interesting comment there, Gene. Certainly for the AO, he's done really well last year, getting to the semis. As we have a backhand-to-backhand exchange between both players here. Both players trying to keep control. And ALCARAZ is... Oh, no! ALCARAZ came to the net, tried to be the aggressor. And it was such a low ball by Felix on the return that ALCARAZ wasn't able to get it over any purchase on it or get it over the net. So we are sitting at 30-love to Felix. 30-love to Felix at 4-3 in the first set. Felix is very happy with that. A really good defensive display there. No, I certainly agree, as you say, Felix. I think, Gene, that he will be, Auger will be one of a major threat. I think he can definitely do another semi-final run at the AO this year. ALCARAZ again hits the net this side of the court. It's not looking good at the moment. That's the first serve in a row. The second serve in a row. Beg your pardons. Felix gets a good deep return on that. And ALCARAZ in the return afterwards fires it out. So we are sitting at 40-love. We are sitting at 40-love. We are sitting at love 40 here to Felix AUGER-ALIASSIME on Carlos Alcaraz's serve. I probably said it wrong, Gene. A point back. I do apologise. ALCARAZ goes out wide. Felix is able to get a good return on it. Oh, no. Oh, no. It just stays it. What has happened there? But AUGER-ALIASSIME has taken the point. AUGER-ALIASSIME has taken the point and as such has broken. AUGER-ALIASSIME has the break here on the first break of this match to make it 5-3. Not only was it a break, it was a break to love. It was a game to love. So we go from a fantastic service game in the previous service game for ALCARAZ to an absolute howler and a brilliant one for Felix. So Felix is now serving for the first set. Felix AUGER-ALIASSIME is serving for the first set. First ball he hits goes out wide. Goes for the serve out wide. Unfortunately, clips the net on the way over. So it's a second serve. Felix down, body serve, is in control of the point, is playing the conductor, walks into the point, cross court. ALCARAZ is able to get across thing, and so Felix came to the net, was kind of stranded. ALCARAZ went for the body serve. AUGER-ALIASSIME went for the lob volley, or at least the backhand lob volley, and ALCARAZ was only able to run in and hit it into the net afterwards. So we've got AUGER-ALIASSIME at 15-love on his own serve. Where can I watch it live? Hans has put it. If you want to, 2 places. I think you've either got the main 2 places that are not on betting sites would be Amazon Prime, if you've got that, or if you've got Tennis TV. Both places are showing this match live if you are in the UK. So AUGER-ALIASSIME goes out wide. Alcaraz is unable to get anything on it. He's having a go at his team already. It is now 30-love. I don't know, Hans Peter, if you are based in the UK. If you're based in Europe, I think Tennis TV also works in Europe at points. But you'd have to check with your go online and find out from your local provider which channels are showing your matches. But I know for the UK that this is being shown on Amazon Prime and Tennis TV. So Felix goes out wide, completely throws Alcaraz off one as he believes he's going down the tee and was running that way. And Felix just about clips the side edges as he goes 40-love up, 3 set points. We have 3 set points here to consolidate and to win the first set, and possibly even to a game to love. Let's see what happens here. So Felix going for the normal service motions. Tries to go out wide with that serve. Unfortunately, it goes beyond the line. As well, he's looking to get this first set done in under 40 minutes as the clock ticks at 39, just in the right hand corner. So AUGER-ALIASSIME goes down the tee. Alcaraz runs forward and then both to the net or close to the net, or AUGER-ALIASSIME to the net, and he has consolidated, and he's done it to he has done it to end up picking the one for net. So as Felix has won the first set here at the Indoor Open, we can give a good look at the Felix button.
He's got this far, he's living his dream, gonna be a star, AUGER-ALIASSIME. He's got this far, he's living his dream, he's gonna be a star, AUGER-ALIASSIME.
Yeah, I got a JG757. Hey James, hey JG, how you doing? Gene's also saying that he agrees with Gary, and JG saying that Felix is too strong at the moment, and Gene is also letting us know that Medvedev is up 3-2 in the second set. So Medvedev is already looks like he's a break up against Dimitrov. Fortunately, as a score that many of us would probably predict was going to take place. So it'll be interesting. We're now going into the second set here. We're getting some of the stats pointing up. 87% of first serves won for AUGER-ALIASSIME with a 60% first serves in, and he's won 70% of his second serve points. They are some good numbers. If you're averaging high 70s in both your first and second serve points won, you are not going to get broken, or you're going to rarely get broken. So that's some really good. So AUGER-ALIASSIME playing at a really high level. As JG57 points out, he's playing a much stronger game than Alcaraz. If Alcaraz wants any success here and wants to pick up the title, he's going to have to increase his game. He's going to have to get more of his first serves in, and for them to be much more potent. So Steve, you're bringing up the fact. So talking about Medi as well, it's hard to believe that an 18, 19 years old player has already surpassed Medvedev's best year. With one Medvedev, I believe that's Medvedev's best year was one Grand Slam, which would have been 2021. We picked up one Grand Slam, that would have been the US Open, one Masters title, which was would have been Toronto for Medvedev that year, and 250 titles. Whereas Alcaraz this year has already picked up one Grand Slam, which is the US Open, 2 Masters titles, which I believe were Miami and Madrid, and 2 500s, which were Rio de Janeiro and also Barcelona. So Alcaraz starting off strong here, keeping control of the point on his own serve, goes 15-love up on his own bit here. Again, if you can make sure you can put any predictions you have about the second set, what do you think will happen, in the comments below, that would be fantastic. Yeah, make sure you put any predictions for how you believe this set will go. First set, like we said, has gone to AUGER-ALIASSIME, 6-3. How will the second set go? We've got a second serve here for Alcaraz. Good bit of caging there by Felix. He's in control of the point. Does a little chip. Both are chipping back to each other with the backhands. A really unlucky clipping of the net. Alcaraz goes for the down the line winner of his backhand. It would have gone past, but it clips the net on the way over. So it ends up bobbling up into the air and then slowly bouncing down. So Felix has plenty of time to set himself up for the forehand winner. The luck is not with Alcaraz at the moment. Remember, make sure you smash the like button. I know we're close to 100 viewers in this stream already, which is fantastic. If you can get to that, that'd be brilliant. So we've got a backhand. Oh, again, another example of Alcaraz goes out wide. Felix reads it, cages the ball to Alcaraz's feet, and Alcaraz is unable to have any control of it. So AUGER-ALIASSIME is already 30-15 up on Alcaraz's serve in the second set here. He is showing some strong game here, really strong game. So down the line by Alcaraz, but unfortunately it just went wide. Just went wide there for Alcaraz. Again, a couple of stutters. Okay, so we've got a bit of a backhand to backhand exchange here. Oh, okay, so Alcaraz was able to become the main conductor in that point. Pushes AUGER-ALIASSIME back behind the Basel baseline, and all that AUGER-ALIASSIME can do is hit it into the net. Again, like I said, I think I'll repeat this. It's going to be that tussle. Who is going to be the main aggressor? Who's going to be the main conductor of these points? The winner of that will be the winner of the game. 30-30. Alcaraz does a body serve. Both pretty weak, actually, as both players are now doing backhand-to-backhand exchanges. Oh, a bit of an unforced error there by Felix. Not getting enough behind it, and it sails into the bottom part of the net. Sails into the bottom part of the net to give Alcaraz game point on his own serve. Maybe a bit of a let-off there for Alcaraz. Felix had him on the ropes there, and a couple of points there where Felix knows he could have done better. Another weak serve by Alcaraz. For first serve, these are not great. So we've got a bit of a forehand-to-forehand exchange. Alcaraz is pushing Felix around the court, and he's able to run to the net to do a cross-court passing shot on Felix to take the first game of the second set in the end. There's something interesting, actually, because both the last couple of service points by Alcaraz have been incredibly weak in terms of the speed that's been placed on those serves. Is he experiencing some sort of problem, or is he trying to increase? Or it could be a case that he could be experiencing some sort of problem. We hope not. He does seem to have a little bit of a strapping to. Well, it doesn't have a strapping, actually. It's his sweatband. I do apologise. I'm usually used to even strap bands where they have one there and then one there. But they're, I don't know if it's an issue. It doesn't look like he's shaking it out or anything. It could just be a case of him trying to increase his numbers or increase the number of first serves in just to get a bit of confidence into that part of his game. So now on to Felix. Will his level drop or will it continue from the second set? Down the line, great serve by Felix as Alcaraz is unable to keep it on the island as it flies long closer to the Basel line. A little bit of a worrying look that Alcaraz is giving his box. You're probably wondering what is he going to be able to do to actually get a foothold in this on Felix AUGER-ALIASSIME serve. So we're going for a serve here as well. Remember, make sure you smash the like button. It's great to see so many of you in this chat as Felix hits down the line and Carlos is unable to get it over the net. Literally a whimper of a whack racket onto the ball, but that's it. Remember, all those people in the chat, please comment below. What if you're watching this match with me live? What are your takings of the match so far? If you've got any general questions about tennis, please put that into the chat as well, or any questions about me. I know I'm new, so I'm happy to answer any questions you want to know a little bit more about me. Please do put it in there. Great serve out wide by AUGER-ALIASSIME. Oh yeah, great. Yeah, the way he acted, it looked as though it had gone wide, but actually he just taken it on his stride. So at 40 love already, 40 love here. We could get a game to love first service point for Felix in this set. As he just goes through his normal service procedures, or his repertoire. Cross court by Felix. ALCARAZ cannot do anything with it, and we get a game to love. Felix AUGER-ALIASSIME starting off where he left off at the end of the first set, being really strong on his service game, not letting ALCARAZ in it whatsoever. So we are now sitting at 1 game all here. 1 game all. So Felix was able to get a good return on it, but it was only halfway across the court. ALCARAZ goes for the drop shot, the backhand drop shot, and not only was it then going to go wide, it actually didn't go above the net either. This is really surprising for Carlos. His backhand is usually one of his best shots, and it's the second time he's tried that in this game, and it's just not worked. He does seem to be playing at a lower level, Carlos. Good return there by Felix, and ALCARAZ, in an attempt to do a forehand cross court, ends up firing it long. As we see a picture of a cameraman trying to get a good shot on his long lens. So sitting at 30 love. 30 love for AUGER-ALIASSIME. Every time I'm able to pronounce his name right, I feel a little bit more pride inside. So Carlos goes for the serve, body serve, doesn't really do much, and then AUGER-ALIASSIME was able to cage it again to Carlos's feet, and Carlos cannot cope with it, hits it into the net, and we are now sitting at 40 love to AUGER-ALIASSIME. 40 love to AUGER-ALIASSIME. Are we going to get an early break here in the second set? And could that early break be fatal if it does happen? But we're not there yet. Carlos goes for the serve, goes out wide. Oh my days, what a return down the line. So Carlos goes for the out wide serve, and then AUGER-ALIASSIME is able to collect it on his backhand and sails it down the line, completely leaving Carlos stranded. They presto, we get a broken. ALCARAZ broken at the beginning of the second set. He is already a set down. Are we going to see Felix running away with it as he ends up getting this game? Winning games love, and I'm going to have to give him, because of how well that performance was, we'll get another running of the Felix button.
He's got this far, he's living his dream, gonna be a star, AUGER-ALIASSIME. He's got this far, he's living his dream, he's gonna be a star, AUGER-ALIASSIME.
So, Alex C., you're saying that these are two of your favourite players. Who do you end up rooting for? Well, at the moment, I would probably say you probably want to root for ALCARAZ to get back into this match, as they cut to a guy in the crowd who looks a lot like a guy from the House of the Dragons TV series. If you've not ever watched it, it's a brilliant spin-off. It's kind of bringing a little bit more life back to Game of Thrones after it's a bit of a poor ending. Peaches, you're saying FAA is on fire. He have Carlos's number. Future tennis player here. Love it. Excellent. I see JG in the chat. Okay, so we've got Gary having a chat with JG in the chat there. As everyone now gets ready, here for the next, for AUGER-ALIASSIME, can he consolidate, which is key? Remember, hit the like button. We're close to 150 people watching, which is fantastic. So along here, ALCARAZ taking some control of the point here, pushing up ALCARAZ back, Carlos back. Oh my days. Okay, so wow. I mean, that point was just brilliant. ALCARAZ had AUGER-ALIASSIME on the ropes. ALCARAZ goes for a forehand down the line, runs to the net. Auger, the best defensive display possible, hits it straight back across the line. Carlos is left stranded, wins the point. I mean, if you feel as though you could watch this back, and you could probably say these are some of the pinpoint moments which show why AUGER-ALIASSIME will win this match. I know it's early to say, but it looks like that will be the way, because if you're winning those points, the luck, everything is with you here. It's excellent. And then we get a service motion, which was wild of the tee, way wide of the tee. Just an update as well. Medvedev has got one more point, and he should then win his match against Dimitrov in Vienna. AUGER-ALIASSIME. So we've got a bit of a back forehand to forehand exchange. Auger, wow, okay. Carlos has come to the party. He's taken that forehand down the line, leaving AUGER-ALIASSIME stranded by the Basel sign. He thinks it's going wide. It just about stays on the inside line. Peaches said this is the Felix I've been waiting for, and he has leveled up. Quite possibly. Indoor hard has rejuvenated him this season. Gary says so many people worry about men's tennis post Big Three. Not me. We'll miss the three greats, but the game will always survive and prosper. Couldn't agree more, Gary. Really couldn't agree more with that comment. I will showed it on the thing. Couldn't agree with you more. We've got so many exciting prospects in terms of matches. ALCARAZ, we've got AUGER-ALIASSIME, Medvedev will come back stronger next year, most likely. And then we've got some other young guns coming through, like Holger Rune, Lorenzo Musetti, and Jack Draper, just to name a few. So we got backhand to backhand exchange, and then ALCARAZ just hits it long past AUGER-ALIASSIME in an attempt to cage the ball. Yeah, remember, thank you to the Game to Love channel. Things just said, hit like the video to show some love for this video. It'd be fantastic. As Gary's pointed out, would it 45 likes? Excellent. Remember, we won 100 by the end of this match. And to be honest, without how well AUGER-ALIASSIME playing, that may not be long away. I was settling down for a long one here, but that famous last words, we could end up being here in 2 hours' time still. And yeah, Ben Medvedev has just taken the match in Vienna. So that's the first semi-final of this weekend sorted out. So AUGER-ALIASSIME ends up hitting the net on the first time around. Oh, runs to the net. Oh, okay. He may live to regret that. So in a bit of a bizarre move, AUGER-ALIASSIME channeled his inner Maxime Cressy with that point as he hits a second serve, middle of the court. Alcaraz has the control as Felix runs to the net and is unable to get it over the net. So we're now sitting at 30-30. So what looked like a possible easy control or an easy hold here for AUGER-ALIASSIME has turned into a little bit of a harder ordeal. Let's take a bit of water there. Okay, great serve. That is how you respond. Great serve down the line there by AUGER-ALIASSIME. Carlos is left flailing, and as such, AUGER-ALIASSIME is 1 point away from being able to consolidate this breaker serve, which I'm sure he would like to do. Very much close to getting getting the first thing. So we've got an interesting stat. First points won. Auger is now up at 90%. I mean, that is just immense numbers. Great first serve by Felix. Alcaraz cannot get control of it, and he ends up consolidating to make it 3-1. 3-1 here at Swiss indoors. 3 games away. Our Felix. And Felix AUGER-ALIASSIME is 3 games away from hitting quite a commanding victory against the world number 1, Carlos Alcaraz. See what's been said in the chat. Come on, Felix, destroy Carlos. Gene's determined that Carlos should be destroyed. Felix, good return there. Weak serve again by Alcaraz. Alcaraz, bit of a backhand to backhand exchange. Forehand there by Alcaraz. Backhand again by Alcaraz. Felix is just running around the place, trying to chase every ball down, and it just gets too much in the end, and he's unable to get it above the net. So we are now sitting. Carlos has at least started this service game in a strong manner. As Gary, you say Daniel's game is on. Felix's game is on. Carlos is playing well. Novak and Rafa are headed for Paris. The women are at Fort Worth. Next week will be WOW. Absolutely, it will be wow. It will be wow with Ostrava levels of exclamation marks following it. If any of you've seen that on the court, brilliant that was. And that Barbara Krejcikova match was unbelievable. So we're now sitting at 30 love. Carlos is showing a bit of a stronger showing in the service game. So Carlos goes to the first serve, goes down the tee, and it just hits long beyond the service box. Down the line tee again, and unfortunately Felix does. I call that an Andy Murray, and runs onto a second serve and ends up flailing it long. Bit of a waste, but Auger-Aliassime may not need to worry too much given the fact that he's a set and a break up here, and we're just about to hit the hour mark. So we've got a bit of a chip there by ALCARAZ, backhand down the line by ALCARAZ, wins the point, shows some control. He's getting some control back in this match, which is a key for his hopes and prospects of possibly getting into this tie. But as a state of players at the moment, it would be I would say it'd be unlikely. But you can never count Carlos out. You can never count Carlos out. But any questions or whatnot, please do put them in the comments below. What I will do whilst I sat down is just give you an update from the Paris qualifiers, which have started today. Just to give you an idea, because of course we're building up, and this channel will cover as much as possible, as many matches from the Paris Masters over the next week, being the last 1,000 event of the year. We've got Laszlo Djur beating David Goffin in straight sets. Oscar Otter beating Ilya Ivanska in straight sets. Quinton Hayes beating Pedro Cachin. That's quite an interesting one because Pedro's been playing absolutely brilliantly recently. We've got A. Fitz beating Jao Munar in straight sets, along with Fabio Fognini beating Galan in straights. And the weirdest result so far, Zappa Morales beating Pedro Martinez 6-love, 4-6, 6-love. I don't know what's happening in that second set. It's like a Benoit Paire-esque second set where absolutely no effort in the first, loads of effort in the second, none in the third. And Thiago Monteiro in 3 sets beating Hugo Grenier. And you just got Hugo Gaston playing Marc-Andrea Hussler at the moment, and Hussler has taken the first set. And you've got Talon Grigspor looking as though it's Talon Grigspor versus Mackenzie McDonald, and it looks as though it's on serve in the final set there. So just to give you a bit of an update on some of the qualifiers in Paris. So Felix is going to start to do a service motion, looking to bring back that 2-game cushion. Down the line there, what comes up to the net, has some control, a little bit of a volley over the line. Alcaraz, So Felix comes to the net, is unable to actually place it anywhere, unable to place it anywhere of any significance. Carlos is able to run onto it, and just as a backhand through Felix to get the first point of that game. Thank you, Gary, for the saying I'm awesome. That sounds a bit weird, big-headed. Hit that like button. Yeah, brilliant. If you can make sure you can hit that like button, that'd be absolutely brilliant. Brilliant here. We want to get to 100 where possible. Yeah. So we've got a little bit of a backhand to backhand exchange taking place at the moment. Just trying to load up something on here. So currently Carlos is sitting at 30 love. So currently Carlos is sitting at 30 love, which is an interesting, development in his match. Is probably the best way of describing it. As Auger has not shown the best start here to this match. So Auger-Aliassime with the serve down the line. Carlos is flailing. Felix to the net, smashes it and beyond. So Auger-Aliassime able to take that point there. Able to take that point there as he now goes to 15-30 with an attempt by him to not allow anyone in too much to the tournament. So this is a message there. That's deeply unprofessional. Do apologise. probably again say that a lot, and I shouldn't. So we got great support here, up to 130. Make sure to smash the like button. We're 45 at the moment. Be excellent to see that go further. AUGER-ALIASSIME able to run to the net again on that return from ALCARAZ. So we're now sitting at 30-30. At the moment. So and ALCARAZ is there, propelling the fact that he was unable to provide much onto that that attack. Got a guy with a long lens right at the back, trying to get some good shots of ALCARAZ. Probably maybe down to the fact that he may feel that it's going to be the last time I'll see them for a while. Out wide by Felix, pushes ALCARAZ out wide, goes down the line, and then is able to. Oh, that was an example there of ALCARAZ continuously making sure that your opponent plays one more point. He managed to get onto 2 smash returns and force Felix to continue to hit shots. But Felix AUGER-ALIASSIME is now sitting at 40-30, looking to make it 4-2 here in Basel. He does not want to relinquish this lead. He has spent a lot of time working on this and wants to make sure that it stays, and you can see out the rest of this match. He just looks so strong and impeccable. He's looking to make it free love on the head-to-head. Goes for the serve out wide. Unfortunately, it flies just wide. Now, if you've got any thoughts about this match or anything, or any comments or questions you want to ask, please do put them in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you. Backhand to backhand exchange taking place at the moment. Forehand by Felix. Backhand by Felix. Forehand by ALCARAZ. Forehand by Felix. Oh, and AUGER-ALIASSIME able to hit it long, keep it deep, and all that ALCARAZ can do is hit it wide. So Felix is able to control that and to take it to 4-2 here. 4-2. I think he would like the double break now. He will go for the double break to try and end this match as soon as possible. I'm sure he doesn't want to do 2 more service games if he looks to try and see this game out. ALCARAZ is still looking slightly confused and dejected. Looking very confused and dejected. So ALCARAZ is able to hit a great first serve there, take it out wide, and Felix was unable to get anything on it. So Felix is just getting to the normal thingy positions. We have a backhand to backhand exchange. Felix goes down the line, hits the net. ALCARAZ is able to run to it, but hits it wide. It hits it wide. So ALCARAZ ran to the net. It looked to all the world as though ALCARAZ was going to get that point. And what happens? He puts way too much on his forehand, and it flies long. Flies well long, actually. A little bit of a breathing space there for Felix, it seems. A little bit of a breathing space here. Near enough 150 people watching the stream. Is absolutely fantastic for such a big match. Great from everyone. Oh, drop shot by ALCARAZ that actually worked this time, but Felix is able to get to it, and Felix is in control of the point, smashes it long, and takes the point. So it is 30-15 to AUGER-ALIASSIME. So the drop shot worked, but Felix was able to get to it, push it long, which was key. ALCARAZ was left having to do some weird sort of backwards backhand shot, and Felix just has to control the point as the ball flies back to him to smash it long. As we can see at the moment, ALCARAZ is trying all his tricks in his arsenal, and it's not working. So Felix gets control of that. Backhand to backhand exchange. Oh my days! So ALCARAZ ran onto that from the baseline, and again, just like the point where he fires it long beyond the baseline with his forehand, he does the same with his backhand. So AUGER-ALIASSIME has 2 break points to make it a double break here. 2 break points to make it a double break. This is quite critical, actually, you'd probably say. Good return there by Felix. Backhand to backhand exchange. Oh, okay. So ALCARAZ was able to on that. So Felix got it back central of the court, and Alcaraz was able to basically hit it to the other side of the court with his backhand. It just had too much on it for Felix to be able to deal with. But Auger-Aliassime still has 2 break points here. Still has 2 break points. Normal service motions by Alcaraz. Goes long. It is just out. We got a second serve here. What's going to take place here? Great backhand. Oh no, way too much. Auger-Aliassime puts way too much on that backhand. Flies long. The 2 break points have been squandered. The 2 break points have been squandered. We are now back to deuce. It looked as though Alcaraz was done in that service game. We're back to deuce. Some good backhand to backhand exchanges. Bit of a chip won by Auger. Backhand by Auger. Forehand by Felix. By Alcaraz. And Alcaraz hits the net. He hits the net. He had control of that point. He was going up the line and he hits the net. An unforced error, giving Auger-Aliassime another break point to make a double break point here. To make a double break here in Basel. Okay, so Alcaraz goes for a serve and it hits the net as he tries to go out wide. Are we looking at the end here as the clock hits an hour and 10? Backhand by Felix down the line. Forehand by Felix. Backhand by Alcaraz. Forehand by Felix. Forehand by Alcaraz comes to the net. Oh! Alcaraz goes for the... Auger-Aliassime goes for the backhand cross court. Backhand cross court. He believes he had Carlos stranded, and he hits the net on that attempt for passing shot. It just clips the white bit of the tape. We're talking an inch or 2, and that probably would have been a winner. You know, they say about fine margins in tennis. That is a prime example of it. Great backhand by Felix there on that serve. Takes control of the point. Forehand down the line. Alcaraz is left squandering. Felix down the line. Alcaraz is able to get back to it. Chip backhand by Felix. And Alcaraz is only able to chip it wide. So Auger-Aliassime has his fourth break point here. 4th break point of the match. You've got to feel, if he doesn't take these, is this going to be a turning point? Peaches says Carlos is a fighter. I want 3 sets. I think the crowd and a lot of us in this chat would love 3 sets here. Can Auger take it? So believe that was a let cord. We've got a let cord there. It was a good return by Felix, but unfortunately it was a let. Can he take this one here? Can he take it? Okay, so the first serve goes wide by Alcaraz. He goes wide by Alcaraz here. Come on, Auger. Come on, Auger and Alcaraz. Let's have a good point here, lads. Let's do this. Oh, bit of a flummoxed backhand there by Felix. He's left on the defensive. Alcaraz comes forward. Felix goes, oh, wow. He gets the point. He gets it by hitting a body shot with the forehand. Alcaraz runs to the net. It's pretty much line by line with the net. Auger hits a forehand to the body, and Alcaraz cannot get and is left fumbling. We have a situation, as I make sure we click the thing. We have another break. We are 1 game away. Auger-Aliassime has a double break in this set. I mean, just showing a replay. Alcaraz left floundering. He tries to do a backhand, and it just hits the net on the return. Felix has just been immense today. Absolutely immense. Absolutely, Peaches has given us how we're all feeling in this match. Felix has just been a cut above, an absolute cut above. He is focused. He is zoned. He is getting his first serves in. He is winning the big points. What you want to see. Hi, Snehil. I think it's best to ask Kumar. Hello, James. See you the first time. Third time here. Hope you're all enjoying the stream. Make sure you hit the like button. We've got 170 people watching, which is brilliant. If you make sure we can hit the like button, that'd be fantastic. Like I said, I'd like us to get to 100 likes where possible. As I'm just double checking the like count, we're currently still sitting at 45. If we get higher than that, that'd be excellent. Guy, you say Alcaraz's Achilles heel right now is a serve. Absolutely agree. I mentioned at the top of the show. We could agree with you more there, Guy. Al's best weapon, by contrast, looking good for him. It is AUGER-ALIASSIME's best weapon is his serve. It is so strong, as Hidesh says, go Alcaraz. So we're now in a situation. Can Felix see it out? We are. Are we close to the end, or are we seeing a red herring for this match? Let's go see. Felix for the serve, goes out wide, leaves Alcaraz stranded. 15 love. Nice, easy, straightforward start here. Nice, easy, straightforward start. Got a comment flying through, James. Are you wearing a Red Bull Racing t-shirt? Are you a Verstappen fan too, like me? Funny enough, I'm a Mercedes and Lewis fan, but I do like the top. The top here is brilliant. I bought it in a sale on the F1 website a few years back, and it's nice and comfy. It's a good thing to wear around the house and whatnot. So Auger hits the net on his first serve for the second point. Second serve in, Alcaraz gets a good return. Auger ends up spraying it long with a forehand cross court. So we are sitting at 15-15 here. 15-15. Gary saying very impressive by Felix. Absolutely, this match has just shown the immense quality levels he's got. So we're sitting at 15-15. What's going to happen next? Felix down the line, first serve in. Well, he gets pushed back a little bit. We've got a bit of a forehand to forehand exchange at the back of the court. Alcaraz has the control over the point. Felix goes for the lob, doesn't work. Alcaraz takes the point. So we're now sitting at 30-15 to Alcaraz here on Felix Auger-Aliassime's serve. Peaches, you're saying if Felix keeps us up, he keeps up this kind of playing, Grand Slam is on the radar. Certainly so. I believe he has definitely a Grand Slam final in him. If he's able to get across the line, is of course another matter. This is certainly a final appearance at a Grand Slam. Is certainly on the cards for Auger. But at the moment, he's worried about getting to the final here in Basel. As he goes for the serve, he hits the net. As he now has a second serve. Sam says, awesome, James. I have a Mark Marquez t-shirt too. I bought it from a MotoGP website a few months ago, and yeah, I'm a big Lewis fan too. Hope he wins Mexico next week. I hope so as well. I'm praying. As a bit of a best way to describe that as a kicked second serve, catches Alcaraz out. He's unable to keep it on the island with the return. We're now sitting at 30-30. Sitting at 30-30. Just goes wide of the island. Alcaraz looks annoyed with himself. Can Felix get it done here in the next 2 points, or will Alcaraz break back to extend the game a little further? Time will tell. So Auger-Aliassime, cross court, brilliant cross court serve, ace down the line, leaves Alcaraz flailing, meaning we're at
match point.
We are now at match point here. We are match point here in the Basel Indoors Open for the first semi-final, the big match of the day. It's to say it's been a contest would probably be a little bit more flattering to this tie, but we'll do a post-match analysis if this next point goes in. Of course, it couldn't, and we could extend ourselves even further. Remember to hit the like button. Close to 174,000. Brilliant. Oh, okay. So Felix looks to go out wide. He just about misses it. Got a second serve here. Alcaraz is standing so far back. He's pretty much neck and neck with a Chiquita sign. Kick serve there. Backhand by Felix. Forehand by Alcaraz. He's in control of the point. And we go to Juice. Alcaraz was able to get control of the point, become the conductor, and Alcaraz and AUGER-ALIASSIME was left flailing. We're then now sitting at the moment at Juice between these two players. Alcaraz's book, David Ferrero is looking. Is looking slightly concerned, but more would be the AUGER-ALIASSIME team. So AUGER-ALIASSIME goes for the serve. Where does he place it? Tries to go cross court. It ends up hitting it out on the way over, but bounces into the service box. So we're still sitting here at Juice and a first serve. AUGER-ALIASSIME goes wide again. Deep return by Alcaraz. Backhand to backhand exchanges. As Felix fires it wide. On that backhand cross-court exchange. Alcaraz has break point here. Looking to extend the match. This is the first break point that Alcaraz has had in the entire game. And he gets it on what could possibly be the last service game on Felix's serve. But at the moment, Alcaraz has the break point. Is he going to extend this match? So Felix is winding himself up. Hits the net on his first serve. So he hits the net on his first serve. Builds up the tension here. This is the Swiss capital, Basel. Tell me if I'm wrong. Good deep serve by Felix. He's in control of the point. Alcaraz ends up hitting the backhand and hits it beyond the inner tram line. We are back to Juice. Alcaraz was unable to convert that one break point with a backhand cross-court passing shot, which sails long of the inner tram line. What have we got in the comments? Did anyone in the chat pick FAA in straights? I wanted to, but I hesitated. I think nobody in the chat picked it up. From my understanding, nobody picked Auger in straights. I think a couple of us picked Auger in free, and a couple other people picked Alcaraz in free. That could still happen, but at the moment looks unlikely. So Auger goes to the serve, goes out wide, able to get Alcaraz flailing, goes across court, and Alcaraz is unable to get anything on it. We are now back again. Play that button once more.
Match point.
We're back here at match point. Trying to make sure I've got the button ready. We're back at match point here. So Auger is going through the normal service motions. Fires it down the tee. Alcaraz fires it up. Unable to go thing. And Felix AUGER-ALIASSIME wins the match here in Basel. Wins it in straight sets.
He's got this far, he's living his dream. He's gonna be a star, AUGER-ALIASSIME. He's got this far, he's living his dream. He's gonna be a star, AUGER-ALIASSIME.
So Felix AUGER-ALIASSIME beats Carlos Alcaraz 6-3, 6-2 in an hour and 20 minutes here at the Basel Swiss Indoors Open. He's now going to face the winner of either Holger Rune or Roberto Bautista Agut for the ATP 500 title. Of course, Felix is going for the third straight title in a row and his second 500 title of the season. He's going to look incredibly dangerous given his performances for Paris, which of course kicks off on Monday for the main draw, and then possibly for the the main finals as well when they take place when the main finals take place in Turin. I see a lot of love for Felix in the chat there. Played an absolutely phenomenal match. Really had Alcaraz on the ropes at key points. And in the first sort of ATP meeting, because I know that the other two meetings were one at a Grand Slam, one at the Davis Cup, where he won both matches, or at least progressed in both matches. This is like a straight win over Alcaraz, who unfortunately looked second best throughout that match. We've got Oh My Thinging God. What have I just happened? James, hello again. Hello, Lexi. Welcome to the stream. I know we're going to sort of coming to an end here now. You can put any comments, any feelings you've got for that match in the comments. That'd be fantastic. As we see, Felix is just getting an interview on court. Again, I would probably say that Felix is definitely going to probably be the big favourite in tomorrow's match. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't win this tournament. And it'd be an unprecedented third tournament win in a row. I think the last time I can remember a player winning 3 tournaments in a row would have been Casper Ruud in those 3 ATP 250s on clay after Wimbledon last year when he won Gstaad, and Kitzbühel. But we're very much on the verge here. Great win by Felix. Sorry, James, I had to watch Man City. I feel a bit hurt by that. I'm as a United fan, but no, I could. It's always good to watch multiple different sports and to get multiple different perspectives. I'm going to call this stream to a close here. I hope you've all had a good time while watching this, and I will see you all soon.